Hey guys, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina. I am your host and I'm excited to be with you here today to talk a little bit about the Duna infant seat and explain to consumers maybe some of the common misunderstandings and misconceptions of this infant seat. So let's launch right into it. So behind me here in this new color sand, I am going to zoom in. There we go. So in this new color sand, I have the Duna infant seat. And so if you're unfamiliar, Duna is just a brand that makes a couple of different products, but one of the products is the Duna infant seat. So this will work from 4 pounds through to 35 pounds and up to 32 standing inches. So I would say easily the first year of baby's life, they could use this car seat rear facing in the vehicle. Now, it will come with the base. I don't have it installed right now. The greater value of this demonstration is to kind of show the practical usability of the product. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I want people to see that this seat right here sort of represents, I would say, like an SUV seat. It's a little bit higher up than a sedan seat, but it's just useful for our demonstration. So the Duna infant seat is portable. It has a handle. And it's heavier than most of the other infant seats on the market. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but something to realize is that without any baby in here, just the weight of this on its own is going to be 17 pounds. That is definitely heavier than most of the other infant seats on the market. So your average Doona car seat is going to be like 7 to 8 pounds. That Up a Baby Aria is 6.9 pounds. So this guy clocking in at 17 pounds is definitely a little heavier. Now, the reason why it's heavier is if you look on the bottom, you'll see that it has wheels. So when I remove it from the base, I then pull this handle and the wheels pop out and I'm able to set the car seat directly onto the ground, extend the handle once I tip it toward myself, and pull the handle up. So the handle height here is about 37.5 inches. I did use a tape measure to see how tall it was. So it's about a 37.5 inch handle height. And now I just have a car seat on wheels. So I'm able to wheel it into, let's say, that doctor's office or anywhere else that I want to go. Now, you're asking, you made a video explaining what Duna does already, so why are you making a second video? This video is to sort of walk you through maybe misunderstandings about the product. So a lot of times I have customers come in, like I just had this weekend, a gal came in and she lives in San Francisco and she says, I live in an apartment, I have to walk up 3 flights of stairs, so I'd really like to see the Duna as an option. And when I explained to her that it weighs 17 pounds and most all the other infant seats are going to be significantly lighter weight, she realized that maybe she didn't really understand everything about the product in and of itself. So let me just demonstrate one thing. I'm going to grab a little 14-pound doll, which is this guy right here, and I'm going to put this doll into the car seat. Now, I don't think this is a bad product by any means, but I think it's important to sort of visually see what we're discussing. So if I'm hanging out with my baby, you know, however old they are, and they weigh 14 pounds and we're wheeling around and now we get to the vehicle, this is my SUV right here. I would collapse my handle, move the handle upright. In order to make the wheels go away, I'm going to need to be able to lift the 17-pound car seat with the 14-pound child toward myself, squeeze the handle, press the entire thing back toward the ground, let the wheels retract in, and then lift back up into the car. So that baby's only 14 pounds. And for me right now, this is definitely going to be a two-handed operation to get it in and out of the vehicle. Again, certainly not the end of the world, but I think their advertising is a little misleading. So if you go onto their website, they show somebody with an empty one for sure, because there's no way that that woman has a kid in that car seat. She literally is walking up subway steps, holding her Duna, pops the wheels out, wheels over to a van, which is strange also, and then just like gets in. And again, we are not shown the child while she's doing any of this. So the implication is that the child is in the seat, but my point is, like, these applications where they show people carrying it for like its mobility is ridiculous. Other store owners have pointed out, and this is true, the amount you're carrying it for most of the people buying this product is going to be very minimal. So when I say that, I mean that a lot of times people might think that this is the correct product for them. They do a little research, they understand that it's not the right thing, and then they move on to something else. The people who end up buying this generally are only ever lifting it from the ground into the car, and from the car out and popping the wheels down and being able to go. Now, that being said, I would not fault someone for wanting the convenience of what this offers. So like, if you think this is a cool concept, but you are horrified at the idea of the 17-pound car seat with the wheels on it, there are now other solutions that might make sense to consider if this is something you wanted for those reasons. So, that being said, I'm going to scoot this guy out of the way. There's a new product that I just reviewed called the City Loop from Peg Perego. So this is the Urban Mobility, which is the Peg Perego infant car seat. This goes from 4 pounds to 35 pounds and 32 inches tall. So it's the same as that other guy that we were just using. The weight on this is 10 pounds. So this is 7 pounds lighter than the car seat we were just handling. That being said, there are no wheels on it. That's okay, because this would go into the car. We would undo the latches, we would hook it in on both sides, we'd tighten it, we would then have the handle come forward like this. So all of that is actually very similar to the Duna installation when it's baseless. This is just a little easier because it has lower anchors to hook in baseless versus the Duna, which you would use a seatbelt. Neither's here nor there, just kind of, you know, installation differences. However, this goes in, we've got our baby in, and the wheels are this little piece right here referred to as the City Loop. So this is a stroller piece. Oh, you know what? It's locked. There we go. Let's get this open. This guy will open up. Handle on this one comes up to, I feel like, 39 inches. So as you can see, it's a little taller than the one we were just handling. The other thing that might be useful about this versus what we were just looking at in terms of mobility, right, is that we've got a basket. So there's an underneath storage to this where we're gonna be able to put items, whereas on our Duna, you don't have that at all. Now, this works in conjunction with the car seat. So you remove the car seat from the car, and you would put it directly onto the stroller frame. And you say, well, it's a stroller frame, but there's no stroller seat. Well, the car seat with wheels is identical to what you were just looking at with Duna, right? It's just a car seat with wheels. But here we've got an underneath storage basket and a handle that goes a little higher. We also have that option to remove the wheels. So like, one thing that I do like about this that's different than the Duna that we were just looking at is, remember, when I wanted to put the car seat into my car, I had to lift it up, squeeze the handle, then move the seat back down all the way to the ground to let the wheels collapse onto the car seat. Here, it's a little simpler. We're just lifting it up and putting it in the car. So there's no up and down motion. Now, yes, I'm gonna have to still collapse this portion. But one thing I'll say in favor of this guy is that instead of having to go out to my trunk, they've deliberately designed this to fit in your back seat on the floor in between where your feet would go if you were sitting in the back passenger seat. So it's not gonna require the additional step of going out to your trunk, getting it, pulling it out of the trunk. The intention is that it will absolutely fit in the back seat of your car, stowed beneath the seat. So I think that that's a nice option. The other thing is, like, again, if we're gonna play this game of going up subway steps, I feel like separating the weight. So this guy's got the carry strap, and then now I'd be able to carry my baby up the stairs two-handed. I'm taking the weight of my products and spreading it across my body, versus with the Duna, it's probably more like carrying a kettlebell up and down. So again, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the Duna. It's $550, so it's actually, I think, a pretty reasonable price point for how long it would last, and the fact that it does come with the integrated wheels. I also think that the way that the wheels operate on here, for as far as like the operational ability of them to drop back, click on, come up, and then drop down, all of that's very fluid. So they do a really nice job with that. You know, it is a manual rethread harness. I don't fault them for that. They probably want to cut out any additional weight because it is already 17 pounds. And the fact that it has a telescoping handle, that's going to add weight to it as well. So all of these things that make it sort of unique and special are also going to add weight to it. Now, that being said, the City Loop that I just showed you, the 10-pound car seat, the stroller frame weighs 12 pounds. But the thing about the stroller frame here, which you purchase for $229, and then the car seat is $299, so you're looking at like a $529 price point. You can get a seat for this for later on. So once the baby outgrows the car seat, you can put them into a big kid stroller seat that will face caregivers or face forward toward the rest of the world, and that will be available this fall for $229. They also have a bassinet, which is collapsible for this. So like if you really are apartment living and you want to be able to take it up and downstairs, but you don't want your kid in a car seat all day and you prefer them in a bassinet, that could be an option as well. So again, excuse me, just want to make sure that the consumers understand some of the limitations and physical differences between these products. And again, it's not to say there's anything right or wrong about either of them. They both have great applications for different things that you're doing, but maybe it makes sense to get something that you can take the pieces apart and have smaller things versus one big heavy thing. Or maybe it makes more sense for your car seat just to have wheels on it because you prefer the simplicity of that. So if you have questions or you have comments, please feel free to leave them below. Please feel free to hit like or to subscribe. Also, if it makes sense to share this video, go ahead and share it with whomever you think would like to see it. Also, if you want to buy any of these products, they're all available on my website, destinationbabykids.com. If you haven't been, we just switched over to Shopify. It's a really nice website. I would encourage you to take a look. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we will see you in our next video.